What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of River City 93. This is the post game show. Um, Recording this right after a 3-0 defeat to Lexington Soccer Club in the Jagermeister Cup. This result officially, it's not like we already know it, but it officially eliminates the Kickers from progressing on in the group. So let's talk about it. I don't want to really talk about the game too much because outside of it, it really wasn't much to really highlight. Um, we did see Landon Johnson get his first start in maybe a year or so. Kanagwa returns to line. He hasn't played, really started the game since the Spokane game. Um, and Andrew Richmond, the 17-year-old from Mechanicsville High School, got a start as well. So interesting there, um, given how things played out. You kind of saw how things were going to go via the lineup. But, yeah, I mean, they did well. We'll talk more about their individual performance on the podcast, so make sure you listen to that. If you haven't, like, share, and subscribe. But I want to focus a little bit more off the field. The crowd, man, very docile. Was reported to be 3.2K here tonight. Didn't feel like it. Didn't feel like it. Felt very docile, very quiet. Heard a couple of jeers and boos in the crowd. Frustration in some of the style of play. Um, Questioning whether or not players are playing. So you can tell fans are starting to get frustrated, given the results and how things are going. So yeah, outside of that, this is the last game before the Kickers take their midseason break. They're not playing next week. They won't play again to July 12th, where they play Chattanooga, and then again on the 16th, where they play against CD Leganes, the Segunda Liga scene in the international friendly. So interesting to see how things there. Um, yeah, going back to the game, saw a number of players out. Is that because of injuries? Is that because of just rotation? I don't want to speculate, but the more I find out, the more I will let you know on that facet there. Um, yeah, like I said, it's not really much to talk about this game. We'll talk a lot more in the podcast. Me and Matt will. Make sure if you haven't already, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the season. Right now, we're on 80. So if you can subscribe, that'd be great. Really help our numbers out there. But as always, I'm going to stop talking, and you're going to hear from players and coaches. I'm next. Peace.
Yeah.
Lovely. Great. So I'm going to talk a little bit about tonight as a whole. Obviously, a bit of a different approach tonight. A lot of young guys on the pitch. Talk a little bit about what it was like from your perspective.
Yeah, I think it was a good opportunity to try out some different things. Obviously, we're pretty much already eliminated from the competition, so we're looking to make a significant jump in the second half of the season. I think tonight was a good night to kind of experiment, give some other guys who haven't had a ton of chances some opportunities, and kind of see where we're at against a good opponent to then evaluate over this break and go forward for the second half of the season.
You got to wear the armband tonight for your hometown. Talk a little bit about what that means here in Richmond.
Yeah, it's a great honor. I'm excited. Dak's a terrific captain for us, and obviously he was rested tonight, so had to step in and do a job and try to lead the team. It's a great honor. I've been here 4 years and really enjoyed every second of it. So to lead the group was, nothing but an honor. That's all I have to say.
We saw a lot of guys get their first minutes tonight, including Brendan Dobziniak, who usually plays in the back line, but stepped in a little bit differently tonight. Talk a little bit about what it's been like working with him.
Yeah, Dobbs is a great kid. He works really hard, keeps his mouth shut, works every day. Good player, steady Eddie, and I think he has a lot of good stuff ahead of him. So super happy that he got his debut tonight, fellow Ram. So wishing him nothing but the best going forward.
Anything for him in particular as he heads to VCU?
Get ready. We need some wins. That's all.
All right, Simon, let's start off with the positives. Tonight, you captained the team.
Yeah.
Unfortunate result, but just for you personally, how did it feel from where you started off in 2022 to now?
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously, the coaching staff here has given me a terrific opportunity, helped me grow in so many ways, challenged me to mature and, step into new uncomfortable roles for myself. And like I said, Dak's been a terrific captain for us, and was happy to just try to lead the group in any way that I could tonight.
Like you already mentioned, the team was already eliminated from the Jägermeister Cup. The crowd
Mhm.
seemed kind of docile, not as energetic as it usually be. Do you think, given the already elimination for the cup, might have laid into the crowd not being as enthusiastic and boisterous as they usually are?
Maybe. I don't know. I can't speak for them. All I can say is we try to come out and try to put a good performance in. We appreciate their support through thick and thin. And we're going to try to build the second half of the season, like I said, to get some better results going forward.
And final question. I know you guys have your mid-season break coming up after so many games and so many battles. For this team that's had so many ups and downs, how forward are you and team looking to having that off week to just rejuvenate and get ready to go out against Chattanooga?
Yeah, I think we're excited to get a little rest and reset, but I think in the back of our minds we'll be thinking forward, thinking about how we can improve, thinking about how we can pick up some more wins in the second half of the season, really kick on. Rest is a good thing, but there's a lot more work to be done.
Oh, one final thing. You had 2 great crosses in the first half. Is that a part of your game that you've been steadily working on, is having those little crosses?
Yeah, I think I always try to join the attack when I can. I take pride in being a well-rounded defender, so whatever the game gives me on a particular day, whatever the team needs, try to do. Found a couple good opportunities. Try to put some good balls in there for our attackers.
All right. Thank you so much, Simon.
Appreciate you guys.
All right. Going to start off with the homegrowns tonight. We've got a lot of kids saw the pitch tonight for the first time. Andrew Richmond played a full 90 minutes in his first start. You saw Brendan Dobziniak, Nick Tarantakos get their first minutes. Talk a little bit about what we saw from the young Richmond guys tonight.
Yeah, 7 total homegrowns played tonight. That's indicative of where we're at. We have 5 starting guys that are injured and out, not even available. Some others pretty dinged up. So, I don't know if Andrew Richmond played 90 the last 15. He was kind of cramping around out there. But look, your 3rd game in a week, in this Jagermeister Cup, no excuses, but there are 3 teams in our Jagermeister group that are the 3 top teams in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. We play Lexington tonight. They're on a 2-game winning streak. We didn't hit these teams at the right time. We're pretty beat up. So I was really proud of the young guys. I thought that they did what we asked them to do. And if we would have scored a goal early in the game, it might have made it interesting.
I was going to mention that as well. You saw some early attacking from this group, especially from Hayden Anderson. And Richmond was part of that building as well. And then all night, Beckett Howell sending crosses in. So talk a little bit about what we saw from the 3 of them.
I thought Beckett Howell was a warrior tonight, and the kid's grown exponentially, and he's taken the left back spot. He's done great. The desire and the grit piece, I'm not worried about. We gutted out a game in Omaha on Wednesday night, found 4 goals, but it was really just a greedy game, and Beckett was a huge piece of that. So, we're a team that we know we have a foundation there, and I'm actually excited that we have a little bit of a break because we got to get healthy. But going into the second half of the season, we have a good foundation to build on, but we got to do better.
Simon talked about driving into that second half of the season, and you just touched on it as well. Once back from that break, what does headed into that Chattanooga game look like?
Yeah, you'll see some changes in the way we play and possible other changes. The reality is there's some spots in our game that we need to improve on, and you saw it tonight. We were exposed on sets defensively. We got exposed in the run of play defensively a little bit, and we're looking at some guys. I thought Jonathan Canegua did okay tonight. Got an opportunity, and some other guys are growing. So, we're going to look at it. We're going to evaluate it, and going into Chattanooga, it's all about points now.
Last thing from me, talking about the Jonathan's, that was his second start, and then Jonathan Gomez got his first minutes as well. Talk about what you've seen from him.
Look, we're committed to young players, and it's a long process. We're really 2 years into this thing, and it takes 3 to 5 years to really get there. People are upset because they want us to win. Nobody wants us to win more than I do. But once the tide rolls over, once the wave goes over, these kids are going to start being the same as the other players. If you watch what Griffin and Beckett do, they sometimes put together full games. I thought Beckett put a full game together tonight. So we're getting closer. We just still have work to do.
Just want to pick up on that last part. You talk about that wave kind of going over and whatnot. Tonight, is that part of that process where you had, I think I counted like 6 or 7 young guys out on the field in the last 15 or 10 minutes of the game. These growing moments for them, even though it's a tough defeat, tough game, how important is that to that process of them matriculating and growing and being key contributors to the starting 11?
We're here to win soccer games, okay? We're here to develop players, but like I told you, Chandler Dwyer unavailable, Darwin Espinal unavailable, James Vaughn unavailable, Maxie Schenfeld unavailable. I mean, we have a lot of Matt Bolduc unavailable. It was a necessity that they played. And the fact that we're already out of the Jägermeister Cup gives us the impetus to give those guys an opportunity and see where they're at. So it's part of the process. We're always trying to win a game. We tried to win a game tonight, but I'm glad those guys got minutes because it's hard, man. The jump from being a youth player to a pro player is very difficult.
Looking at the starting 11 tonight, you had Landon Johnson out there on left wing, Jonathan Canagua filling in and center defensive mid. Speaking about those particular players, they haven't really played a whole lot. How impressed were you? How impressed were you with their performance, given even the limited minutes they did play?
Yeah, I think Jonathan needs minutes in order to grow and be game fit. Landon's the same thing. Melvin, these guys, they need some minutes. Other guys have been outperforming them, so they've gotten them. This was a good opportunity for them to get a little bit more game fit. We're going to need minutes from them going forward, so they got to play in games.
Question about the crowd tonight. Seemed a lot of very docile, very quiet, not as boisterous as it normally is, as engaged. Any words of encouragement towards the fans? Because even though if I was walking around the Concourse, there were like some jeers and not boos, but jeers, kind of the style of play or anything like that.
Look, in the end, we won a game on Wednesday that was a necessity. We needed to get a win. It wasn't a pretty game. The Spokane game last Saturday was a tough one. They're the best team in the league. They're subbing on 3 All-Stars. I mean, when you sub on Pelaez, Vinyals, and Denton at the end of the game, and we're subbing on teenagers, it's going to be hard to win those games. So we'll get there. I don't mind. If people want to put all the pressure on me, you want to jeer Darren, feel free. In the end, we have a project here. We're going to go into the second half of the season flying, and we're going to try to win soccer games. We want the support of everybody. We want you behind us, but we're going to fight like heck to get points.
And with this break coming at the midway point of the season for the Kickers, how important is it for you and your team to make sure everyone gets back healthy, but then also make sure they're ready to go for the Chattanooga game? Because you guys kind of got a full week with the Chattanooga game, then the international game, and then another game right after that.
Yeah, it's a lighter month for us. The only 2 league games are the Chattanooga and Greenville game, and we need to get something out of those. If we do, we stay in the middle of the table, which is where we've been, and we fight our way towards the playoffs. I mean, there's 16 games left of the season, and we know what we have to do. The Laganes game is a great opportunity to showcase our team and showcase young guys and bring in an international team. But we know what has to happen. If people are upset with us, that's fine. But what I would say is stick around, man. There's 16 games. That's a lot of points to go get.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew, obviously not the wanted result tonight, but talk a little bit about getting to make your first start for your hometown club.
Yeah, it was great. It was great getting the start in front of fans, and it just wasn't only me. It was good to see some of the other academy guys out on the field coming into the game. Nick, Johnny, Brennan, they all deserved it. So I thought it was good for them to see the field too. So
talk a little bit about obviously getting to build with the pro guys in the minutes you've gotten before, but tonight when you're all getting these minutes, kind of building with the guys and the guys you've worked with for years.
Yeah, it's great having some familiar faces out there from Richmond. Growing up with some of these guys that I played with, it's nice having them to kind of keep me in this team. And then the players, the more experienced players have helped me along the way at this process. Get me to be the best player that I can be and get me out there and letting me have opportunities.
I want to ask you this question for you and a lot of young guys out there tonight. What is the hardest part to get adjusted to, the physicality of the game or the mentality?
I'd probably say like the speed of play is like much more quicker than the youth level. So like you kind of like, it's pretty much like in your mind, like you kind of have to like think like a second quicker than you would like think where to be, or it's just like faster, like everything.
And then final question for me. You had a lot of people here tonight. When your name got introduced, did you hear the pop of the crowd?
No, I actually didn't. They were cheering my name.
Yes, it was a loud pop.
Okay, I mean that's good. I'm glad my family, friends showed up. So it was a good night. A little hot, but I'm glad the fans showed out.
And last thing, for you, for someone that grew up in this community and whatnot, what does it mean to get your first pro start here at City Stadium?
It's a big thing. I've always dreamed of this since I was a little kid. Wanting to be out there on that field. It's great to play a full 90, even though, I kind of scraped through it at the end. But, it's good. It's good to get a 90 out there. Always dreamt of it. So, yeah, it's a good feeling.
All right. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.